If you're taking your dog swimming or you're playing in the water and you want to document all the fun, you need a waterproof camera. Now, some people will use certain types of phones. Some people will use their professional cameras with their underwater housing rigs, which I do and I have done, but I'm leaning heavily into working with my GoPro this summer with taking my dog swimming and playing in their pools. And I love this because it is teeny tiny, it's easy to use, and it makes sure that I have a lot of flexibility while I'm playing with my dog so I can play with them, but also document that footage. And because it does have a front screen and a back screen, I am able to see what I'm doing if I'm filming me and my dog, if I'm setting this down on rocks or on the side of the pool, or if I am going to be watching my dog while I'm doing this. And because it is designed to go on adventures and to do adventurous things, I can be above the water and below the water in one little swoop, which gives me really great content. So this is fantastic because you can just use this as is underwater to a certain level. I actually have an underwater housing for this, which I love even more, and I always use with my camera just because I'm extra protective of these things, and I really like having that extra layer of protection in case something happens where like a dog nail will scratch my lens, or I'll have to set it somewhere and things will get scratched. It'll scratch the housing and not my camera. So I always protect it with those extra layers. And the nice thing is I can see from both sides. So I can film myself and my dog, or I can see the other way, and then I can dunk it straight down. I do have with my underwater housing attachments. So I can, if I'm taking it to the river, I actually have a clip that I attach to it. So I can set it on rocks, or I can clip it in a tree branch, or I can do different things with it. When I'm in a pool, I usually have a handle that is going to float. So if I'm in the pool and one of my dogs is swimming right at me, or somebody needs help getting out of the pool, or I need to toss a toy, or whatever it happens to be, I can just let go and the handle will make my camera float. This is a camera, it's a little bit heavier, so if you just let this thing go, it will sink to the bottom. You'll have to go fetch it out of the pool, which might be cool content, but also you have to fetch it out of the pool. The floating handle does allow me to just let it go and it will float, and it's yellow, so it's very easy for me to see. And so I have this that I can just kind of follow my dog along with. There is no zooming. There's no lenses to this. So it is static. It is what it is. You cannot do everything that you can as a professional photographer. You can see my roots here. And I cannot do a ton of control. So it's just very much like a wide angle lens that you're just aiming in the correct direction and you get what you get, but you get a lot of really great footage. So you can do a ton of stuff with this. Now, I do recommend if you are going to be dunking this under the water, or if you're playing near the water where there's splashing, and if you're with a dog, there's splashing, you want to make sure you are wiping off that lens. I'm not going to touch my actual lens, but inside of my water caging, I am just going to brush that off to make sure there's no droplets, because if you're filming when there's water on it, you're going to get weird blotchy spots, like it's going to be all over your content. You don't want that. So make sure anytime you come up or anytime they're splashing that you're frequently just checking to make sure it's clear. There's no pop-out screen on this, so it is flat. So if you have it at this angle down here, it might be hard for you to see. So you need to actually physically manually check to make sure there's no water on the lens. When you swish it, it will do kind of like, if you've ever been in a car wash, how it kind of weirdly goes over that front windshield. There will be a little bit of blur for a second as it kind of recedes with that water, but then you're going to be good to go. And you just want to make sure you're paying attention as you're filming that. It does have a micro SD card, so you can put that micro SD card in there to save it and then put it in a reader to transfer it to your computer. You can also use the app. They have an app for this. I cannot say enough good things about the app for this. But with your micro SD card, you can either get a larger storage space or a smaller storage space. Larger storage space does allow you to capture more content. However, as a professional photographer, we are very much trained and we very much give this valuable information to have smaller size storage cards. Because if anything happens to that micro SD card, you're going to lose that content. If there's a formatting issue, if there's a glitch, if it breaks, if there's something gets in it, and you have to then recover that content or maybe lose that altogether, the more you have on it, the more you lose. So smaller sizes with smaller bits of information are going to mean you lose less. I put it in terms of like photographing a wedding. If I use the same card for the entire wedding and something happens, I've lost the entire wedding. If I switch my cards out between the ceremony and the reception and different things that are happening, if something happens to one of them, I've only lost a section of that. And so typically I like to use smaller size 32, 64 gigs. I don't typically go too much higher than that because it's so much of a risk to potentially lose that if that is going to be something that happens. Hopefully not. It really hasn't. I think it's happened to me. It hasn't happened to me on SD cards at all. I've had like one external hard drive break on me and then I lost some stuff, but backing that up, also very important. So I like to use smaller sizes. That allows me more freedom, but that does also mean you may have to bring more of them if you're gonna be out swimming for a long period of time. But a 32 or 64 gig should probably not be anything you need to worry about. You should have lots of space on that if you're just doing a swim at a time. And so the battery is housed inside. I do recommend having multiple batteries. It does kind of burn through batteries fast. You can charge it by plugging it in as well. The micro SD card goes inside, and that is all safe and waterproof. I actually tried to film this video earlier and open that to show you. I didn't turn on the camera, so I had to restart this. So I'm not going to do it now, but it does have that inside of it, and it makes it nice and easy for it to stay safe, protected, and unavailable and accessible to that water. So a GoPro is going to be really fun. And then you can, of course, like you can get one of those rigs that attaches it to your body so you don't even have to touch it and just gives that POV look. You can put it on the side of the pool. You can put it on a rock by the river. There's a lot of options when it comes to this. I cannot speak highly enough of my GoPro. I use it all the time. It is, again, a wide angle lens, so you will see some distortion around the outside. So if this was what the GoPro is seeing, what's on screen here, this would be where the focus is. Nothing is going to be blurry in the background. You're not getting any bokeh because there's no focal lens length that you can adjust. So it kind of, everything is very flat. It's very much like working with a phone. But then there would be a little bit of distortion around the ends because it is a wider angle lens. So it's taking in more information to give more of like that adventure vibe, but you will see a little bit of distortion, especially if you're taking photos. So your GoPro can do video, it can do photos, it can do time lapse, which gives you a lot of options. Make sure you're on the right setting before you film your content. But you will see a little bit of distortion around the edges, especially on the photos. But it gives you lots of really great options. It allows you to be in the water, under the water. It allows you to do all the things that you want to do to get your content very easily and very simply. If you want more tech ideas and tech reviews, I actually teach social media marketing over on youtube.com/KMRobinson. And there's tons and tons of tech reviews, how-tos, tutorials, all of those things so that you can take very easy, simple, accessible pieces of technology and learn how to use it to document your dogs or your life better for your social, for your friends, for your family, for yourself. And so if you've got questions on this or you want more tech reviews here, go ahead and let me know. We'll talk more about it. We'll talk more if you want how ideas on how specifically you can use your underwater cameras to document your dog swimming in different locations. Let me know. I'll do videos on them, but we'll see you in the upcoming episodes as we continue to help you navigate the world of being a dog parent to help you level up for your pup and give them the best life possible within the terms of photographing and documenting your dog, traveling with your dog, car travel, vacation, swimming, harnesses, leashes, all the things that you need to know here on the channel. I'll link them down below.